Hello and welcome to the show, and welcome to a new series on BeamNG Drive. I enjoyed my time on the West Coast rally stage, however, fancied a change of environment, and this time it is going to be a full-on gravel rally that we are going to be tackling. Now this is using the American Roads mod. This is a absurdly massive map. Okay, that's the road that we are tackling, that kind of weaves its way down towards across the river and over a finish line there where it joins that dirt path down there. This map is ridiculous. I mean, as far as you can see, as far as it renders over here, and probably 3 or 4 times as much as that again around, it's a massive, massive map, and we are using a small little rally road, but it is a really rather interesting little road. It is not going to be getting up to 150, 160 miles an hour, however, it is very nasty in places. We've got some bumps, we've got some jumps, we've got very, very big drops if things go wrong. Some tight hairpins for the cars to be dealing with. Crashes will be more spectacular here than we saw at the West Coast rally stage. No, we might be not getting 200 miles an hour. We are still likely to be going quite fast in places, so there are potential for some big old shunts. Now, there are a couple of rules with this. Well, we're going to be running all different drive lines of cars. Of course, all-wheel drive cars are going to be the likely, shall I say, to be the fastest vehicles. So there will be denotions on the timesheet as to what cars are rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, etc. Will be interesting to see what rear-wheel drive and front-wheel drive cars can mix it up with some of the slower all-wheel drives and that kind of thing. Other important thing of note: wheels and tyres. Because we are tackling a dirt stage, we are going to have the cars on rally tyres, and to try and make this as fair as possible, we're going to be using a control wheel. This is the Covet TWE. It is the wheel that comes on the Sunburst from Standard, and it is one that will be fitted with a specific rally tyre. And that is going to go on every car. There may be odd exceptions where it doesn't work. I don't know what vehicles. The chances are the odd exceptions are vehicles that probably would struggle down here anyway, but we will have proper rally tyres on all of the cars. They're going to need it. They are going to need it on this course. I guess then that means it is time to find out, well, send the Covet down the stage for the first time. Now, it is a little bit of a steep hill that we start on, so I'm going to have to hold it on the handbrake as we get off and underway here. Now, turn 1 is a deceptively nasty corner there, carrying speed around that section. It's easy to overdrive, as is turn 2. You think you can get away with carrying a lot of speed into the corners, but you can't necessarily. Again, we're into the first of the hairpins. You know, nice enough done at the moment. One thing you might notice, there is no grass around, and in the hope of trying to calm down YouTube compression nightmares, I have removed the grass. Oh, that's the big jump. That's the big jump has got us on the first time of asking. Oh, we got a good line up towards the jump, but then lost it on the landing slightly. Covet, are we okay? Oh dear. It does actually still work, having fallen off there. It's just stuck in the mud. Oh, come on. Drag yourself about, Covet. You can get out of the mud pit. I don't think it can. I think it's dead. As we plough into the kind of waterfall corner that we've got going on there. It's up to 60 miles an hour, but 60's too much. 60's too much for the hairpins. Trees did a good job of catching it. The trees did a very good job of catching it. I have a sneaky suspicion if we were to roll you over, car, I mean, mechanically speaking, it's fine from that. I don't actually think it really took too much in the way of damage, but I'm not sure there's going to be... Oh, engine, come on, come back into life. There we go, come on, car, live, climb, perhaps, no. Gravity is stronger than Covet. Gravity is a lot stronger than Covet. Gravity wins. Gravity definitely wins. We're now into new territory for the Covet. It's a bit bumpy over all of that, and we've just about got the car back under control. Oh, That's not going to make it stopped in time. Earlier on the brakes at that part. We can be braver, I think, in the early stages of this course with the Covet. However, further down, some of these blind crests, we're going to have to start braking before the crest rather than after it. Chuck the car in. Haha! Chucking the car in has been the trick to getting through there. Oh, that's too much speed. That's way too much. I thought that was going to be a flat-out corner. It is not. That I can categorically say that that is not going to be a flat-out corner. What? So, oh, see daisy. Come on, roll onto wheels, onto wheels. Oh, god damn it! You can't self-right. We need a better Shreebeck on this. Covet down. Up over the crest we go. This is already very quickly becoming my favourite corner, although I said we were going to have an accident doing that at some point. Oh, bye-bye, Covet. That's a big one. That's a big crash for the Covet. That is easily my favourite corner on the track, but when you get it wrong, boy do you know about it. That's a wreck of a car. Well, I think it is safe to say the spectacular crash quota is definitely going to be made around this circuit. With there being such large drops around, then yeah, cars are going to go tumbling off when you get things a little bit wrong. I think there's going to be more grabbing of the handbrake. There's quite a lot of panic, grab the handbrake and try and throw the car into a corner because things are going a little bit wrong. So far, it's what we have seen from this into some of the hairpins. That's quite nicely done. That's a big hit on the front of the car. Now, the Covet rally vehicle is not going to have a problem with that. I suspect we could see some issues for other cars, but we'll have to wait and see how they all pan out. Oh, we're again going to grab the handbrake into the hairpin. Now, it gets a little bit bumpy here, which is got to be a tad wary of, although we are over that this time around. No problem. Now, brake early for this hairpin, because that's a horrible little crest that we have to deal with. Turned in a fraction too soon. Now, this bit here, definitely not going to be flat out. There is some mud to deal with. That will be the finish line for the Covet. It has made it across. Oh, yeah, that's a. This is a fairly straightforward car as well to drive down here. Not massively powerful and front-wheel drive. That means it's a fearsome-looking mountain road that the cars plummet down. I think that's a good, it's a good benchmark, a good starting point for a car, a good first run. Up next, we move on to a all-wheel drive rally car. This, the ETK iSeries. Should be ideal, really, for this kind of course. Decent amount of power, good suspension, we've got our rally tyres and so on. Should be fast. But then, when the cars are fast, that also means you tend to have pretty damn big accidents. You have quick accidents, which will then have the car soaring off into the scenery. It's not quite going to be flat out through those first couple of corners, but it is going to be pretty damn fast. Braking zones are going to have to pretty much all change for this. A little bit more oversteer, of course, as we try to get on the power. A bit more wiggling around. That's going to be too wide. I can't do anything about that. Oh, we got away with that. Amazingly, that stayed together somehow. Not a great line. Oh, is that broken a front wheel? No, the front wheel actually, I thought that was going to snap the front wheel off. Threw that in a little bit too aggressive, and I didn't know how big of a bump there. Okay, you can't cut that corner. That is very much a no cut, because you're going to hit that. That is a nasty bump. I was fairly sure that's about to tear the wheel off. Somehow that wheel is still on in one piece. It might be a little bit skewed, but yeah, it's a fast car, this, but mistakes will be big uns. I think there's going to be a lot more throwing cars in sideways to some of these hairpins than we would be accustomed to seeing me driving. Oh, we're going to understeer a bit wide there. Please make it onto the course. I tried to jump it and get it back onto the road. Nope. Okay, we can't be flat out across that hill in the same manner. Oh. Oh, poor iSeries. Amazingly, everything is broken. The engine is actually okay. The engine is actually okay in all of that. I mean, I say it's okay. It very nearly fell out of the engine bay and is at a very bad angle. Now, let's not carry as much speed on the way in. Just a little bit more patience. No, that's still a bit too much. That's still too much up there. We might have got away survivable. Maybe not anymore. It might have done at one point. It's now probably not going to be. It's still tumbling. Oh, the fuel tank's gone. Are we going to have any drive? It is! It lives! Becomes the first car to crash off at the jump and still remain functioning. In fact, it is fully functioning. We have steering, we have drive. It might only be rear-wheel drive and we will run out of fuel very quickly because the tank's leaking, but well done. Well done indeed, iSeries. Grab the handbrake, get it around the hairpin. I am adopting quite a different sort of driving style at this stage. Unlike I would normally... Oh, no! Oh, no! That's... Is that bump? I think it's supposed to be a river crossing, but graphically it doesn't quite show up properly as we're going down here. And where you would be going through the mud, it's just very, very rough, and suddenly the car doesn't turn as much as you're expecting, and you're on the power, and you get carted wide. Bugger. Pretty good landing. Might have done a little bit of damage to the front bumper. We can live with that. That's not important. We've only got to do a minute or so long stage. Now, chuck that. That's over. That's... Oh... The engine's stalled. I might have not quite changed down enough gears for that at the right time, and that's a new one. I don't think I've ever had a car stall mid-run, although admittedly we've not really done a run like this for a very long time, but well, there you go. Where do we brake for this hairpin? Not quite like that. That's not where we brake for that hairpin. Need to be a little bit earlier on the brakes. Again, there was a panic. Grab the handbrake, try and chuck it in, but we were going way too fast for even the panic grab to work, so we made it further, though. We made it further. Well, if the engine could not turn off down the run, if we could stop rolling the car, that would generally be helpful stuff for surviving this stage. God, carry speed. There is a lot of speed potential through turn 2, but that gets quite scary then heading into this very, very tight turn 3. It's incredibly steep downhill. You know, we're on gravel going at 60, 70 miles an hour. That is a good workout for a car's brakes. Over the crest we go. Big jump, actually, over that crest. The second one as well is all nicely managed by the iSeries. Smoothly does it. Nice, neat and tidy for the car through there. We're doing a little bit of a Scandinavian flick, unintentionally slightly, but it's worked, getting it around another one of those tight hairpins. Now, this throwing the car around works with the all-wheel drive cars. The rear-wheel drives, we will have to wait and see how they work on the rally tyres. Might be not quite as easy. Might be much more easier to spin those. And of course, this has got great traction, trying to fire it out of these hairpins. One more, well, main corner to go. We actually jump a little bit down there across the mud, across the bumps, and now it's flat out towards the line. 70 miles an hour. It'll cross that finish line. And there we go. That is the iSeries down the course. I mean, this is the ideal sort of car. This is the sort of course that, you know, our iSeries here is designed for. So as you would expect, it deals with it pretty damn well. The speed that this thing is capable of achieving in places, yeah, you got to really watch the brakes. And this is on a car, you know, designed for for a rally stage. So, yeah, 2 purpose-built rally cars fare pretty well, as you would expect down here. Some massively spectacular offs. How on earth is a car not at all designed for rallying going to manage? Our final vehicle today is the Pizima Pro Car. Now, this is a fantastic, fantastic mod. It turns the classic Pizima into a mid-engined V12 race car. It is a mad, mad contraption that I absolutely love, and this is going to take on our rally stage. Now, I will say, aside from the changes of wheels and tyres, I have had to do a couple of setup tweaks. The reason being, well, the standard car has massive wheels, massive tyres on it, and when I go to these much smaller ones, The ride height is very, very low, so I have had to raise the car up a little bit, and I've also increased the rear track width because it looks stupid. The wheels sat quite a long way inside the bodywork, so I have tinkered around a little bit with that to make it look sensible and actually be vaguely drivable. The rest of it, though, is as the Bazima comes with a massively high revving V12, the power being dumped to the rear wheels, which have got considerably skinnier, and we are now on dirt, but the tyre should be good at least cutting through the dirt. This probably not going to be as easy to drive as the other cars. Full throttle is not going to be used very much, I don't think, down here, because if it is, it's just going to be sideways. Oh god, turn 2, there's a lot of work having to be done on the steering. That's a terrible, terrible corner cut. Oh god, it's not then got the grip. Oh, to put that power down out the other side. We've lost much of the bodywork. Much of the bodywork has fallen off. That's a crumpled mess at the bottom of a slightly different ravine. Yeah, there's not much traction in this, funnily enough. We are going to have to be so unbelievably careful if it is going to make it down the course. Now, we can still... I don't really want the car... That's why I don't want the car oversteering. I was about to say, I can still kind of grab the handbrake a little bit and kind of get the handbrake just to help get the rear around the hairpin, but I don't want it getting the car oversteering particularly, because there's a lot of power and it's very easy to do, well, that. Normal rear-wheel drive cars aren't the easiest of things to drive on dirt, but when it's as powerful as this, oh god, that was a stupid decision by me. That was a real dumb decision by me to try and get some power down out of turn 2. Now, it's unlikely to be a particular fan of these bumpy bits. While I have raised the ride height, we haven't changed any of the sort of spring settings and so on, so it is still road car, and road car goes around at another hairpin. God damn it, Bazima. You can go and play in the river now, I think. Somewhere. No, we missed the river entirely. We can go play in some trees then. Actually, I think it's still drivable. Somehow. Most of the sort of silhouette bodywork has come off, but it is still just about driving. Well, that's less than ideal. Car. Oh, we've got it a little bit skew-whiff across that. We got a little bit out of shape across the bumps in the braking zone. No, 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 no! It's not going to work. We've taken. I mean, it was a very clean crash. I will give it that. We have plucked the front of the car off without very, very little damage. A little bit to the doors, not quite as clean as it could have been, perhaps. Oh, smashed it. That might have been from the jumps, to be honest. I actually think my car might have a heartbeat. It's sentient! That might explain why it's so difficult to drive. It doesn't want to be here. It knows it shouldn't be here. Well, currently my best tactic for dealing with this pro car is higher gears. While I don't want to run it in too higher gears and run the risk of stalling the engine, sort of fourth is a good place to be, going down maybe third for the hairpins. First and second are pointless, they're just wheel spin gears. I mean, third is still very much a wheel spin gear, fourth it'll spin, fifth it'll spin, but yeah, higher gears just make it a bit easier for me to manage the car with the old throttle. Slight mistakes, slight over-exuberance is punished less when you're in the higher gears. I mean, it's still a very naturally oversteery car when going down a course such as this. Into the hairpins we go. Careful with deploying the power. Now through here we are learning we really want to be on that inside, and indeed that is going to be the best way through there. Now over the crest, on the brakes nice and early. The back end does step out a little bit in the Bazima, but that is okay. Down the hill we go. Still a little bit more oversteer. Can't quite do very much. That's a big clonk down that section. We're through the mud, through the dirt once more. It's oversteering, it's wiggling, it's across the line, undressing itself, but it did make it across the line. Counts. It does count. It didn't impale itself on the finish line as much as it yeah, undressed itself, so that will count as a completion. It's as mad as you would expect. a mid-engine V12 track-based pro car. Well, it's just a full-on silhouette car, this, essentially, which is a great thing to see in Beam. Trying to take on a rally stage, it's tough. It's tough. High gears are very, very much advised, and a lot of caution. An awful, awful lot of caution. Can I get this front bit of bodywork off of my car? Maybe if I go in reverse, or is it just completely wedged? God damn it. Hold on. Before we go, I'm just going to take this off so you can see the car in all of its... Oh, yeah, it was impaled on something. Whoop, bye-bye to the bonnet. There we go. What a crazy, crazy machine this is. So, on to our results table, and it is all surprisingly close. The iSeries will go to the top, 1 minute 12.1 down the American descent. The Covet, though, is only a second and a bit behind that, 1:13.6, while the Bazima Pro car would be the slowest of the lot. But for a car designed purely for circuit racing, a 1:14.8 is not too shabby a time at all. Considering the sorts of vehicles we had here, I expected a wider spread between their laptops. I think the Bazima, while not so good on the kind of control front as the iSeries, it still had okay traction with the tyres it was on, and when it did get some traction, the power, the straight line speed of that car was bonkers. So that might go to explain some of how it managed to keep up. But yeah, interestingly close times. Hopefully we can keep that up. That is, though, of course, going to be it for this episode. I shall link all of the various mods used in the description so you can download them and have a go with them yourself. And also, if you want to suggest names for corners on this course, then please do leave them below in the comment section and we shall get to naming our little rally stage. But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.